Patch 2.11 has just dropped today, and I'm going to have a quick look and see what it has for us. This is of course being rolled out across PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and X. Now on this update, as I said in my last video, it's a lot of bug fixes, most common issues encountered by players including finisher animations, and they've also added a little something for Rayfield enthusiasts. Ah, you beauties. Let's see what they've added. So gameplay, they've got melee finishers and they're now going to work properly. That's excellent. They've fixed an issue where health items would become unequipped from the quick access slot after using consumables. It will now be possible to properly switch Z and W keybinds for AZERTY keyboards. Okay. When using the classic control scheme, performing dashes will no longer result in crouching. Fixed an issue where it was still required to use the F key, which was the default, to interact even if bound to a different key. Binding the right mouse button to an action different to aiming will no longer result in aiming and the new action occurring simultaneously. The axolotl cyberware will now also reduce cooldown when neutralizing an enemy non-lethally. The iconic contagion quick hack will now properly cause an explosion when combined with overheat quick hack. Brilliant. Added the SAM 11.6 and buzzsaw crafting specs for players who completed the required activities to acquire them, but they didn't drop. Nice, I heard about that one, so that's pretty cool. Fixed an issue preventing players from upgrading items to tier 5++ on Xbox. Skeleton cyberware will no longer get downgraded after acquiring level 3 of the license to Chrome perk. Skill shards for skills that are already maxed out will no longer drop. That's a great addition actually, because hopefully that means the ones that you do need will drop instead, but that's just me reading between the lines. It doesn't specifically say that. The RAM costs for the Cyberpsychosis quick hack will now properly decrease after applying cyberware malfunction or an EMP effect. And I think there's going to be quite a few things that are going to impact my new playthrough, which is good because I'm doing a netrunner primarily. Killing NPCs who are drunk or using a brain dance will now properly trigger the police system. I hadn't triggered that one because I don't go around killing random people as much as it appears that I do in my videos. Fixed an issue where RAM recoup cyberware was restoring less RAM than indicated by its description. Fixed an issue where fists would not have a chance to apply bleeding after reaching level 20 in the solo skill. I haven't got that far in that skill. Fixed the description for biomonitor cyberware so it properly states that it heals you when health drops below 50% rather than 35%. It will now be possible to activate Sandevistan cyberware during holocalls if in combat. Okay, good. Fixed an issue where it was possible to get killed by a quick hack while Berserk is active, despite its feature ensuring that health cannot drop below 25%. Cyberware capacity will now be capped at 450. Cyberware exceeding the limit will be unequipped. Fixed an issue that could cause loot to float in the air as well as reappear in the same spot after picking it up. I think some people would have called that a exploitable glitch rather than an issue. As I haven't dabbled in glitches in a long while, I'm glad I don't have to update any videos centered around those glitches, but I do know there's plenty of them out there. Sorry about that, folks. Quests and open world. Adjusted car chases so that they're not too frequent and don't overlap. Thank Christ for that. On my endgame characters, I can't drive down one street without getting attacked by Militech and Tiger Claws and Maelstrom barrel into the mix. It's ridiculous, especially when you're doing a gig. So that should be a welcome tweak, in my opinion. Fixed an issue where vehicles purchased on the AutoFixer website weren't added to the own vehicles list, even though the money was spent. Okay, that's good. Made it possible to obtain the BFC 9000 iconic weapon for players who missed the crashed AV in Rancho Coronado. Yeah, it's funny. I was able to get that to spawn once on one of my characters, and you've seen the footage in my previous video, but not since. I'm not like worried about not being able to get the BFC 9000 or anything, but yeah, I was trying to get some better footage and I couldn't because I couldn't get it to respawn after the first time I got it to spawn. But anyway, I don't know what the trigger was behind that. Fixed an issue where the animation of inspecting the N-Cart City Pass could be triggered inside an elevator, causing V to fall through it. That's gas. I didn't know that was a thing. Fixed an issue where the message for an N-Cart customer support that unlocks the Metro wouldn't arrive, even if the requirements were met. Fixed some instances where gigs could remain stuck as incomplete in the journal without any objectives. A day in the life. Fixed an issue where Daryl Zhao would constantly die after approaching the quest marker and speaking to him. Please note that this fix is not retroactive, meaning that you do need to load a save prior to speaking to Daryl to be able to complete the quest. Fair enough. Belly of the Beast fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to exit the basilisk after entering the tunnel. Okay. Cyber Psycho sighting on deaf ears. Fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to collect the information required to progress because the shard wasn't present in the area. Okay, don't lose your mind. Fixed an issue where after choosing to merge the Delamains, it wasn't possible to progress past the approach to car objectives because the cab didn't spawn. Down on the street, fixed an issue where Takamura wasn't present when arriving at Wakako's pachinko parlor. That was that's pretty game breaking actually. Gig, bring me the head of Gustavo Orta. Fixed an issue where Gustavo would immediately become hostile after entering his office. I thought that was a feature. Mind you, I did always kill all his guys first, so... Anyway, Gig, bring me the head of Gustavo Orta. Fixed an issue where the guards would immediately attack a player after picking a peaceful Street Kid dialogue option. Ooh. I'll test that one when I get to it, because I'm currently doing a Street Kid playthrough, as you might have seen. I really want to stay at your house. Fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to sleep in V's apartment bed while the quest was active. Psycho Killer, improved the reward for neutralizing all cyber psychos. Players that already claim the reward can visit Regina and collect the new reward from the weapon crate. Reported crime dredged up, fixed an issue where the trail that must be scanned to progress could be missing. Spellbound, fixed an issue where the discounted price for the spellbook could be higher than the full price. That's some discount. Phantom Liberty specific. Okay, Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos fixed an issue where there was no objective in the journal entry because the objective to meet Reed at the abandoned hotel wouldn't appear. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos again fixed an issue where there was no dialogue options that would progress the quest when talking to Yoko. I still have a collect something from the collection point from Claire, but it doesn't seem to be working. I can't think it was Claire. Carol, sorry. Firestarter fixed an issue where some weapons could become job items after being retrieved from the locker. Hi-Ho Silver Lining fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to talk to Mr. Hands in the Heavy Hearts Club because he wasn't interactable or did not spawn for players who experienced this issue in 2.1. I actually haven't replayed this since 2.1, so I didn't come across that one, but I saw a video of it and glad to hear that's fixed. Just Another Story fixed an issue where vehicle contracts weren't spawning in some cases. That wasn't a problem for me. Things Done Changed fixed an issue where the screen could go black after calling the nurse for players who experienced this issue on 2.1. Added an end credits message from Reed for endings other than the tower. Ooh, interesting. Removed the possibility of installing attachments on the Caraula iconic pistol. I have no idea if it's pronounced Caraula. Fixed an issue where it was possible to activate the Sensory Protocol perk when it was on cooldown. Fixed an issue where it was possible to activate the Synaptic Accelerator cyberware during its cooldown. It will now be required to have a cyberdeck installed to benefit from the Cogito Lattice cyberware. Makes sense. Fixed an issue where the buff after exploding an enemy with the Detonate Grenade quick hack didn't match the description. UI. Okay, added radio port category in settings, gameplay to customize radio port behavior, enable sync to vehicle radio to keep the music playing after exiting a vehicle, cycle stations with a button press, effortlessly switch between radio stations by simply pressing the radio port button without the need to open the radio menu, enable save current station to have radio port resume playing the radio upon loading a save game. Cool. The data window that appears when scanning will no longer default to the hacking tag, will no longer default to the hacking tab rather than the data tab. Instead, it will now remember which tab was opened last. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't realize it was bugged though, I just thought it was the way it was designed. Anyway, fixed an issue preventing players from changing cyberware at Ripperdocs and seeing the cyberware capacity bar. Added a pop-up message for when it's not possible to activate Sandifistant during holo calls. Like the non-iconic variants, iconic quick hacks will no longer have the duration displayed in their descriptions. Made small improvements to the appearance of net sites. Maybe added Easter eggs to net sites. We'll have to wait and see. Visual neon lit rims for the Iba Kusanagi CT3X will now light up properly. Good. Fixed shadows appearing on V's torso when wearing tank tops. Fixed dark shadows appearing on V's hands when holding some weapons with ray tracing enabled. Good. The Devil and Judgment tarot cards will now be properly displayed on the endgame reward screen. Okay. Vehicles. Tire track marks will now match the actual contact patch of the tire. That's attention to detail. I love that kind of thing. Adjusted the suspension movement of some traffic vehicles to improve it visually. Okay, motorcycle suspension has been improved to reduce the visual clipping into the roads and curbs. Braking is also improved. Some vehicles, including cars and trucks, will now better handle landing from big jumps. Okay, brake torque vectoring Jesus Christ, has been added to the drive model simulation. This change effectively reduces understeer on vehicles that previously used to suffer from it excessively when hard braking while turning, most noticeable on the front-wheel drive and rear to mid-engine vehicles. Wow. It's actually a way more complicated driving model than we might give it credit for when you hear things like that, I think. Returned or improved tuning in various vehicles. This includes the Mizutani Ozoki, MH1, MH2 and Hoseki, Velafort De Leon V400, V410, Coupe and Vindicator, Thornton Colby CST40, Maher Supron, FS3T, Chevrolet Centurion 1000, Quadras Type 66 Hoon, and more. Oh, I must see how the handling of the Hoon is now. As an expandable one here, implemented various small changes to improve drifting in most vehicles. All-wheel drive vehicles now apply power through their front differentials more smoothly when exiting burnout mode induced drifts. Check out our driving manual in the database for more info on those. Dynamic stability management was adjusted to engage more smoothly after burnout mode drifts. Most mid-engine cars, burnout mode implementation has been polished to introduce more easily and overall feel better, including the Rayfield Caliburn, Quadra Turbo R, Herrera Riptide, etc. Okay, some PC specific stuff. Added hybrid CPU utilization setting, which can be found under gameplay performance. It can be set to either auto, lets the operating system automatically decide how to distribute the threads among the cores, or prioritize P cores, prioritizes performance cores. It is set to auto by default. Implemented a fix that improved performance, especially on AMD RX Vega GPUs. I won't be able to test that out. Miscellaneous added the crystal coat feature, which allows you to change the vehicle paint color. Hallelujah! Because this technology was developed exclusively for Rayfield, it is currently only available for Rayfield vehicles you own. Well, fair enough. The fact that it's possible and there and implemented, we might see more on that. I'm speculating again, but right now we can now change the color of our Rayfields. Ah, fantastic. Controller inner dead zones has been changed to the new default values, so players who didn't change them, keeping the old default values could result in stick drift. Anyone experiencing stick drift, maybe check that out and let me know in the comments below. I haven't experienced it yet, but I've seen some people getting some crazy stick drift on streams. Fixed an issue where the door in the mega building H10 apartment wouldn't automatically close in some cases. Yeah, in my case, again, I was just manually closing it. I didn't realize it was a broken thing. Red Mob updated the address list for modders. Okay, if I come across anything in testing, I will do a video on that. I'm going to go and try out this patch now and see what I can find. If you're interested in seeing things you missed video, go ahead and click the link now.